load is resting. Because the Bible says he knoweth our frame. He knows where your pride is resting on. There's a nerve that it is resting on. He knows where your boasting is resting on. So if he wants to help you quickly, he knows what. He knows what to touch. He knows what to touch. He knows what to touch. Oh my. You see, the reason why I have that insight is because okay, let's not. Those days I believed that I was the most intelligent human being. But it doesn't matter who is in the classroom. Doesn't matter. By the time we fight it out, I'll prove that. And I was a preacher too. I was using my grace to preach that I was first class. I was running. I was close my eyes and make first class. Oh. When God wanted to help the boy, he touched the load. He touched the load. Because I had the ability to cram. I could cram the whole textbook. Yes, and recite it. I was sharp. I don't know if I'm still sharp. I don't know. But those days I tried. And then I finished cramming, entered into the exam hall. He touched my brain like this. I forgot everything. And it happened 5 times. So he knows the load, And when I come out of the exam hall, I'll remember everything. May the Lord help. So because he knows where the load is resting, he knows the kind of temptation that you can survive. So he regulates temptation. There's a message I preached on God the regulator. Huh? That was where I spoke about that one I showed us last. That was number 1. What I showed us on Monday was number 1. Then this one, how he regulates temptation and tribulation, consistent with your elastic limit, your tensile stress capacity, your tensile strain capacity, so that the righteous is not turned away to iniquity. So he regulates it. Now, so God had to intervene because this was the recommendation of Satan. Put forth thy hand now and touch his bone and flesh, and he shall cause thee to thy face. This is Satan's recommendation. Now go to the next verse. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. That means God had to regulate. That because you want to test Job, I'm going to remove the last boundary. But you don't have authority over his life. So you can touch his body. You can afflict him. And the reason for which the affliction is coming, are you following? Yes. Satan doesn't have the legal premise to execute this. But he's taking permission to do it. With the hope that he will find Job's elastic limit and prove to God that Job is not serving you for the sake of you. Yes. Wow. So if God proves that the devil is not accurate, it means that Satan has overly secured massive promotion for Job. So that's the bargain. So, and God is confident of the product that he has raised. Amen. So it's okay. Let's try. But I'm going to regulate I saw the vengeance that is in your request. I saw the energy in it. But I regulate it. I regulate it. Don't touch his life. So Satan left. And Satan is so terrible. The affliction that came on Job, I don't want to. Should I? Verse 7 shows us the affliction that came on Job. And so when Satan fought from the presence of God and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot onto his crown. That means even the strange places had a voice. And it took him a potsherd. You know what a potsherd is? You know when, oh, okay, in America, you will not know it. You need to travel to Ghana to know what the potsherd is. When they make vessels out of clay and fire it in a furnace. So when such vessels break, the edges are sharp, but it can't wound you. But it can prick you. So that was what Job was using to scratch his body. And meanwhile, are you there? Meanwhile, he could no longer use these benches and these seats. The only position that he could stay in was in the midst of ashes. So when you finish burning wood and it's all ashes, this fine ashes, they'll pack those ashes and make a mountain out of it, and then they'll take Job and put on it. So can you imagine? Naked, he was like that, naked. There was no garment that he could wear. He was white from ashes, from his head to his hey! May the Lord give you understanding. So this is the first aspect of the skin to skin campaign. White like that from ashes. Looking strange, looking like one of the early men. Homo sapien. That was how it was. Skin to skin. The first meaning of skin to skin is touch his flesh, touch his body. And that's how he made him. Second meaning of skin to skin is pass through his wife to attack him. So when Job was in that condition, are you there? White, tormented. And he was saying things like, naked, I came from my mother's womb. Naked, I shall return. The Lord has given and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Even though his utterance is not very accurate. It was not the Lord that took away. It was Satan that took away. But at least he ended with blessed be the name. So there was still praise in his spirit. When his wife heard the praise in his spirit, his wife came and said, oish. Skin to skin. The campaign, that's the campaign. Skin to what? Skin. I said, right now you are good for nothing. My advice to you. my advice to you is that you curse God and die. Let's see, end this. I don't know this praise you have been. I don't understand this praise that you have been praising. What is happening? Now, hear what Job told her. Verse 8 first. And he took a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speak. Now let me explain that. What was Adam's problem? Okay, so in the analysis of what took place in the book of Genesis that led to the fall of man, from New Testament perspective, giving us illumination and hindsight, the woman's error was deception. It means Satan achieved to deception in the woman. Okay, and Paul had to make this statement when he was trying to explain the reason why God gave headship to man. Okay, so headship is a responsibility that is given to a man in a marriage situation. Are you there? And according to scriptures, the woman is supposed to operate from a covered position. I don't have time to explain that. But it's a great power if it's well understood. So Paul was trying to explain why man was given the responsibility of headship. The reason is because it is easy to deceive a woman. Because of the way she's wired. She's wired around her emotions. making her very powerful, but she needs to be under government. Exceptionally powerful. So because of the way you are wired as a woman can be more discerning. We are wired, men are wired around their mind. And the mind is not the strongest instrument for discernment. In fact, the mind can easily be deceived if you can bring a superior argument. And Satan argues better than yourself. Satan. I know I recognize the fact that you, in your field, you are a master. In your field, you are a champion. And I don't take that from you. In your own, I respect you for that. But, oh, Satan. All right, so man is more logical. Women are more emotional. Women can feel. Okay, a man does not feel first. A man reasons. Is very, very strategic. So it was impossible for Satan to deceive man. Man was not deceived. The woman was deceived. And when Satan came, Satan began to communicate with the woman. He avoided the man. But the man was there. The woman, after the engagement, was deceived, but man was not deceived. Man sided with his wife against the laws of God. So man's error was rebellion. Woman's error was deception. Do you get it? Yes. Good. Now, Adam rebelled against God to side with his wife. And that's the same thing that happened to Abraham. God took 24 hours to sit down with Abraham to tell Abraham, see, I don't know how else to explain that. Because when I read all the discussion that went on, and for a spirit being to, okay, it took a whole day to convince Abraham that, see, I'm going to give you a child through Sarah, your wife. And you would think that the man was convinced. After this encounter, he monopolized God for almost 24 hours. After this encounter, he left the place, and Sarah now brought Hagar. And Abraham, without asking questions, he accepted. And I don't want to go, because of what is happening in Iran, I don't want to explain that situation. I want to leave that case. I don't want to explain it. There's an explanation that should follow. He created that battle that is in Iran. He created it. Created Boko Haram from that arrangement. Jesus Christ. Because he was willing to violate God's laws, God's plan to side with his wife. That was how Abraham's name was deleted from the list of the 3 most persuasive intercessors. I will show you the list. Yes, Job made it. The reason why Job is on that list is because of the skin-to-skin campaign. When the wife came and said, won't you curse God and die? You see the response that he gave to her. He did not side her. He sided God. So when the list of the most persuasive intercessors was compiled, the name of Job was on that list. And the great Abraham was not on that list because Abraham made the same mistake that Adam made. Is that clear? Yes. So the rest is history. You know, when God now came to bring, it's not only justice, he brings judgment and he brings equity. So there was a need for equity in the case of Job's escapades, Job's trials. And when it was evaluated, there was no legal reason why Job should suffer what he suffered. And because of that, the restoration came in measures that were double. Amen. So for some of us here, one of the things God does when he wants to deliver a people. Okay, maybe I'll leave that. Let's go to court cases. Then I will show you how God's justice works. Maybe it will give you the opportunity to understand God a little more. Amen. Because The God of breakthrough that they told us about in Africa, because that's the only God that we know. Okay, let me not. We have some brethren here that will fight me at the end of the service. That idea is not very accurate. That idea is not very accurate. All right, so now let us begin our